The children of Ariel School grew up. 30 years later, every one of them still describes exactly what they saw. And not a single piece of physical evidence from that morning has ever been explained. Welcome to Untold Lores, 30 years without an ant 4 of 4. The Ariel School sighting did not fade the way most reported events do. It stayed documented, it stayed on record, and the children grew up. In 2008, a filmmaker named Randall Nickerson traveled to Zimbabwe and to other countries where the former Ariel School students had settled as adults. He tracked down as many of the original witnesses as he could find and interviewed them on camera. His documentary, titled Ariel Phenomenon, was eventually released in 2022 after more than a decade of production. What Nickerson found was striking in its consistency. The adults, now in their late 20s and early 30s, described the event exactly as they had as children. There was no drifting of the story, no gradual borrowing from science fiction films seen since childhood, no softening of the details into something more explainable. The woman who had described seeing the being's face up close as a child still described it the same way. She said she still thinks about it. She said it changed how she sees the world. One man, interviewed as an adult, said that he had spent years trying to find an explanation that would let him stop thinking about it. He had studied. He had read. He had looked at every proposed rational answer. He said none of them accounted for what he had seen. He said this without distress. He said it the way someone says a fact they have made peace with. Another former student, now living outside Zimbabwe, said that the message she had received, the feeling about damage to the world, about something being wrong with how people treat the earth, had never left her. She said it had shaped her entire adult life and the work she chose to do. Dr. John Mack did not live to see the full documentary. He was killed in a traffic accident in London in 2004. His research on the Ariel School case, along with his broader work on contact experiences, was preserved and continued by colleagues at the Program for Extraordinary Experience Research, which he had founded at Harvard. His formal findings on Ariel remained unchanged at the time of his death. The children had experienced something he could not account for through any standard psychological framework. The official position of the Zimbabwean government on the event has been silence. There was no formal investigation by any government body. No official report was ever issued. No authority ever publicly addressed what 62 schoolchildren reported seeing on the morning of September 16, 1994. The Zimbabwean Air Force confirmed at the time that no aircraft of any kind had been in the area. That confirmation is on record. Skeptics have offered several explanations over the years. The most commonly repeated is that the children had been primed by media coverage of a series of UFO sightings across southern Africa in the days before the event. Coverage that had been broadcast on local radio. The idea is that children exposed to the idea of UFOs then interpreted something ordinary in the sky as a craft and collectively built the story from there. This explanation has several problems that critics of it have documented. First, many of the children came from homes without radio access. Second, radio coverage of the prior sightings described lights in the sky. Not a landed craft, not figures, not close-up facial features. Third, the drawings were produced independently and matched. Fourth, two children independently produced the same overlooked detail about the object held in the figure's hand months apart with no contact between them. Fifth, the ground. The flattened circle in the field has never been explained to the satisfaction of the botanist who examined it or the investigators who documented it. It is in the record. It does not disappear because an alternative story is preferred. Cynthia Hine died in 2000. Her documentation, photographs, and records were preserved and have been referenced by researchers ever since. Today, the children of Ariel School are adults in their 40s. Some have spoken publicly many times. Some have never spoken again after the original interviews. The ones who speak consistently say the same thing they said as children. The ones who don't speak have given no explanation for their silence. The field beyond the fence at Ariel School is still there. The school is still there. The drawings are preserved. The filmed interviews exist. Dr. Mack's written findings exist. The botanist's report exists. The two matching accounts of the flat dark object exist. 62 children on a normal Friday morning described the same craft, the same figure, the same enormous black eyes, and the same silent feeling of being shown something about the world. 30 years later, not one of those documented facts has been explained. Not one piece of physical evidence has been accounted for. And the adults who were there, who were children that morning, who had nothing to gain and everything to lose from this story, still say exactly what they said in 1994. That has never changed. That's it for part 4. Follow Untold Lores for part 1 of our next story. Like and subscribe for daily stories.